guys! So today I'm going to show you how to make this origami paper flower / tulip thing. So the materials we're going to need are 2 different papers, one for the flower, one for the stem, some glue, and some scissors. Also, if you have origami paper like me, you can split it into 4 equal sections to make them smaller, which will probably be better. And if you don't have origami paper, you can just cut out a paper square that's about that size. I don't know how big it is, sorry. But we're going to be starting with the top of the flower. Don't question the fact that I only have 1 nail on, but anyways, when you start, you want to make sure that if you're using like a design on your paper, you want the design facing up if you want it only outside the flower. So you want to start with diagonal folds going both ways. Okay, so now you're just going to want to flip over the paper so that your not design side is facing up, and just do 2 regular folds. I don't know what they're called, but like rectangular folds maybe? So for some people, this part might be confusing, so I kind of like slow it down a bit in the video, but you kind of want to push in the corners and make sure that like the middle, I guess, kind of goes in. I'm really bad at explaining this, but you want to do that and make sure that on each side there's 2 lower flaps. Okay, so now you want to take one of the flaps and put it so the corner is kind of to the middle, but it's not going to be even top to bottom. You want a little, like, I don't know how to explain this, but like basically just look at the video and how the proportions are kind of different and it's not completely in the middle. You then just want to do the same thing on the other side so that it matches up. Okay, so now you will flip it over and just do the same thing on the other side so that the sides will line up where you folded it. Okay, so as I said before, I'm like really bad at explaining this, but make sure, so you're going to take one flap and fold it over to the other side, flip it over, and then take another flap so one side will have 3 flaps and one side will only have 1, even it out, make sure there's 2, and then that means that you can't see the fault anymore. Okay, it's a little hard to see this with my hands already because it's a really small fold, but you just want to take the bottom corner where it's like, you will be able to tell which one's the bottom because the top is able to open up, but make sure you're on the bottom. And so basically you want to fold just this little bit so that the corner does not like fold up. It'll show, like I'm showing it in the video, but you don't want to put the little thing that you're folding all the way to the middle. And then you just want to flip it over and do it on the other side. Again, like I'm really bad at explaining this kind of thing, so just watch what I'm doing in the video. So like I said before, like the top can open up, so you want to open up the top actually. Like stick your finger inside and make sure that you kind of push where the folds are. Like you can see what I'm doing here so that it goes out instead of in. Now just to finish it off, kind of curl the top of the tulip petals. This part's kind of optional if you want to do it, but I personally think it looks better for you. Okay, so now that you're done the top part, we're going to work on the stem. But first, what you have to do is make the opening for the stem to go in. So what you want to do is just flip it over so that's pointing at the bottom. Take your scissors and just cut a little piece off at the bottom so that the stem can fit. Okay, so you can kind of just see that there's like a little hole in the bottom and that's where they swim. You're going to take your paper that you're making the stem with, and you're also going to take your glue and put a little bit just at the top corner, and this will like glue it shut. Okay, so I'm just closing my glue, and then I'll put it up to the camera so that you can, if you can tell before, you can see like easier where the glue is and where you should put it. Okay, so now you just want to roll the paper into like a very thin roll. I think I'm actually going to speed it up because the rolling process, like if you want to get it so that's not super loose, it does take longer than I would have liked it to. Okay, so now you're at the top. You just want to roll it over the glue so that it sticks. And what I usually do is I leave just a little bit at the top so that I can use my fingers to actually like put it in place. And you just want to hold it there so that they could. Okay, so now we're going to cut the top of this down so that it's even. You can see that since it's slanted, you're going to cut it like just where the little. It goes all the way down, and then you're going to cut it there, so that's going to be even. Okay, so now that that is finished, you just want to make 4 little slits in the top. Like, try to make the sections even. Mine, I did a really bad job at making them even, and then you're just going to fold them down. Okay, so now you want to take your glue one last time and make sure that when you are putting on the glue, you do not put it on the top. You put it on the bottom, on the colorful side of it, because if you put it on the top, it's obviously not going to stick. So make sure you put it in the right spot. Then take your flower and put the stem through the top of the flower. So the little part that you just put glue on, make sure that's at the very top. And when you very gently pull it down, it's going to stick to the very bottom of the tulip. And if you want, I did here, you can just press your finger in there so that it'll stick a bit better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's relatively fast to make each of these. Like, this video is only 8 minutes long and it had no cuts in it. And so each one of these flowers, like, you can make 4 of them with one of these origami papers that I have. If you want to make a big one, you can just use 1 origami paper, but I recommend making these small ups because I personally think that they look better. So what I mean is, like, even now I can make 2 more because I have 2 more, but the flower kind and 2 more of the stem kind. But yeah, that's all. And thanks for watching. Bye.